is in the city of Abuja, where some areas of the city is going to be on a lockdown because of political activities and such. We've seen today with the African Democratic Congress, ADC. So we've seen activities in the courtroom in some part of the center of town, but at the other part of town, around Gariki area, is where former Senate President David Mark, former governor of Osun State, and former Minister of Interior Ralph Aregbesola, former governor of Imo State, former governor of Rivers State, Peter Obi, and Rotimi Amechi, and leaders of the ADC, loyal to the David Mark leadership, gathered at an event center where they held the party's national convention. I'll be bringing you insight into what that event means, plus what happened also in the courtroom. Sorry me, everyone, for this very conversation tonight. But let's begin tonight with one of a major landmark infrastructure event that we saw today, which is after several years of construction, we've now seen the headquarters of the National Revenue Service being inaugurated, and the twin tower of about 16th floor was being inaugurated today by President Bola Tinubu. And the president is telling the service to embody trust, ensure fairness, and demonstrate that government can be accountable and responsive in its operations. As the inauguration of the headquarters of the agency went on, the president at the event is praising the service that it needs to work more on earning the confidence of Nigerians after a very difficult task in consolidating Nigeria's long years of tax issues, and how the challenges have now been fixed in some of the tax reform programs that are being undertaken. Let me allow you to first listen to how Mr. Zak Adedeji, perhaps a very intelligent guy, the way he succinctly defended, outlined, and put examples on how he thought that the Tinubu economic policies is giving Nigeria a leverage. First and foremost, he spoke about fuel price. He spoke also about the foreign exchange windows. He also spoke about subsidy. He did say if the president had not taken those decisions, Nigeria would have been in an economic quagmire. But this is how Dr. Zak Adedeji described fuel prices and what is going on globally and its effect on global price of oil. Take a listen to him.
Petrol supply security today will have joined the queue. Not only that it will be expensive, it will not still be available. Today we have stable because it's easier to say wait for Lekki than wait for Europe. Thank you, Mr. President. Now, I said Nigeria pump price today because people say price is expensive, it's expensive. And that is why, as you taught me, that I must be data-driven. That's why I come with the data, because I know what I'm listening. I don't want to give the word that people... Mr. President, the price in Nigeria today is 0.88 cents, which is less than $1. In the United States, is $1.70, which is 22% higher. In India, is 25% higher. In South Africa, is 35% higher. And if you do global, today, Mr. President, we are 50% lower than the price. This is just because you allow local refineries to work. And to put it in perspective, before you clap, I'm a student of economics. I read political philosophy in the history of the world. I don't know if anybody here can tell me where we've sold the crude or the resources in currency that is not currency of foreign reserves. It is due to its innovation.
That's Dr. Zak Adedeji, the Executive Director and Chair of the National Revenue Service. It is speak on the defense of the foreign exchange windows, the subsidy remover, and also it spoke about the some of the Nigeria's budgetary policies and how much money is now available to the state due to President Bola Tinubu's economic policies. But other people that spoke there included the Speaker of the House, the Senate President. When the Senate President spoke, he was making a distinction on giving a defense on why we're seeing a rise in insecurity in the country. He linked it to election fever. Take a listen to him.
You are seeing insecurity today. It's even increasing because the election is coming. As soon as the election is over, watch out. The first 2 weeks, you will not hear any single bomb blast. Because people are sponsoring it to distract you. They don't know what else to do. They say this man is too good in many areas. If the governors are attracted to him because he's taking very good care of the states. He came in with less than 18 governors. Today he has almost 32 governors under his fold, out of 36. So where do we belong? How do you win election when you don't have the structure?
The Senate President also spoke in defense of the INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amupiton, about the alleged partisanship based on linkage to his social media activities, some of the social media and linked to him. Take a listen.
No political party today is stable in this country. Then they changed and said, okay, let us attack the people going to do the election. And they brought out a tweet where they said, the chairman of INEC said, victory is sure. But he didn't say victory is sure for APC. He did not say victory is sure for PDP. He just said victory is sure. And the man said that it's manipulated. Nobody wants to hear. But for me, whether manipulated or not, he said victory is sure. He was not chairman of INEC. He was just a mere lecturer. Anybody can support anybody who wishes to. But when you are on a seat, you have to think of all the entire country and all the populace. And that's what they are doing.
So it was the president that spoke last, which ended the event. The President Bola Tinubu has his own way of how the NRS should operate. He's charging them in a manner in which they need to go about the activities. They've got a brand new edifice to working, but what about doing the job? Take a listen to the president, what he said.
The building is more than concrete and steel. It is a symbol of a new standard of professionalism, transparency, efficiency, and service. It reflects our resolve that institutions must rise to meet the demand of reforms and the expectation of the Nigerian people. We must thank the Nigerian people for enduring and persevering, for their resilience to date. And to the Nigerian Revenue Service, must embody this new ethos. It must not only collect revenue, it must build trust. It must ensure fairness. It must demonstrate that government can be accountable, efficient, responsive. It must become a model institution that earns confidence at home and respect abroad.
All right, then, after saying that, it does look like the president's got some plans for the opposition, but he's got somebody who he wants to have to do the job. Now, the Senate President had the opportunity of introducing the president to the podium, but when it came to the task of dealing with the opposition, this is what the president and how the president got to send Senator Godswill Akpabio on an errand.
Senate President, thank you. I will send you to the other side. To represent me, and that you can scatter them anyway you want. They are confused.
All right, sounded like a joke, Ben. But let's go to what is being, well, a rather troubling situation within the opposition. The Supreme Court today says that it will hear appeals filed by the Kabiru Turaki-led leadership of the People's Democratic Party on the 22nd of April. The Turaki faction is challenging the nullification of the Ibadan National Convention of the party. A 5-member panel of the Apex Court led by the Justice Mohammed Garba granted an expedited hearing of the appeals in a ruling which today the appellants, the PDP, its National Working Committee, and the National Executive Committee had in a motion filed on the 8th of April through their team of lawyers led by Chris Uche, a senior advocate of Nigeria, prayed for a departure from the Supreme Court rules and the abridgment of time for all respondents to file their briefs of argument. While moving the application earlier today, Uche submitted that circumstances warranted expeditious determination in the interest of justice. He noted that the Independent National Electoral Commission, also a respondent in the matter, had announced the 23rd of April as the commencement date for candidate submissions for political parties.
Democracy, and time is of the essence. And my lords have very clearly accommodated that, and we must thank them. It is this court, the docket of this court is very full, and the Supreme Court is very busy. But in recognition of the fact that this affects democracy, they have adjusted, and they stated so. They have adjusted so that parties in this matter can know their fate, taking into cognizance the timetable issued by the Independent National Electoral Commission.
All right, that's what went down today at the Supreme Court. But let me tell you what happened at the Wadat House, a place that has been closed. And there's been a lot of back and forth about who should have access there. But after 6 months of closure, the Wadata Plaza, which is the National Secretariat of the PDP, finally opens to activities. And the Abdurrahman Mohammed-led National Working Committee was the one who had access. It was its maiden National Executive Committee meeting, which after what we saw at the Velodrome at a convention, this is the very first time they're having this official meeting at the Wadata House. The committee is promising a renewed spirit of unity among its members. The chairman of the PDP, Mr. Mohammed, also denied a report of merger with other political parties ahead of the 2027 general election. According to him, the PDP will not hesitate to take legal steps to address issues of misrepresentation or contempt of court.
Today, we can confidently affirm that the People's Democratic Party has emerged stronger, more united, and a better position to fly its historic role in Nigeria's democratic journey. The successful navigation of this challenge is a testament of the majority of our internal mechanism and the enduring strength of our democratic culture. The era of uncertainty is behind us, and the PDP is once again firmly anchored on a foundation of legality and order. In light of a recent speculation, we wish to state unequivocally that the People's Democratic Party is not engaged in any matter or coalition discussion with the African Democratic Party, ADC, or with any other political party in Nigeria. The PDP remains strong, independent political platform with a clear vision and a credible pathway to reclaim its leadership role at the national level. The PDP will all take necessary legal steps to address any conduct that borders on contempt of court or misrepresenting the accordance with the extant laws.
All right, then. So let's take you to the ADC. Now, there seems to be an unending cycle within the ADC in the legal tussle today. From the Federal High Court and the Courts of Justice, J.O. Abdul Malik, the court was approached by way of an originating summons, but there was an order of court that was issued today, and at the court hearing, the court gave the order asking whether or not there was a national convention going. But the court has given an order that all parties shall file their consequential processes to enable the matter see the light of day, and in other words, the order that a pending application shall be heard along with the substantive suit, since the processes are all fought on affidavit evidence. Also, the court ordered that all parties in the suit shall maintain status quo ante bellum and shall not take further steps in the matter so as not to render nugatory the proceedings before the court. The court also ordered that the first to fifth defendants, which are Don, Norma, Johnny, Tofi Derek, some of them who are past state chairman or present state chairman of the party, shall be served hearing notice for the definite hearing. And the fourth order that the court gave today, that the case is adjourned to the 23rd day of April 2026 for definite hearing. After a lot of trouble, and ADC members who are under the David Mark leadership have been complaining. The complaint is basically the denial and the denial of use of venues which are owned or controlled by government, and they have alleged that the government has not allowed them or approved the usage of the velodrome at the stadium, nor the usage of the Eagle Square and the city center, and that all the vendors who had agreed at some point for them to use venue had declined. But at last, there was a venue that was used today, albeit at the last minute, they say that the owner was under pressure to disallow them from using it. But members of the ADC went ahead to conduct the convention. Some of the prominent faces that you see there, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former governor of Anambra State, and former Labour Party presidential candidate Mr. Peter Obi, former governor of Rivers State Rotimi Amechi, former governor of Kano State and former Minister of Defense Mr. Rabi Ukwankonso, and a long list of leaders of the party gathered today at that event center this afternoon, where they held the party meeting. In that meeting, there are a few speakers. There are a long list of speakers, some of those who spoke about the state of the nation and the state of the affairs of the party. Let me allow you to listen to a few of them.
Strong political movements are not built in moments of ease and comfort. They are built in times like this, when a broken nation cries out for change, and the people look for those who would lead with commitment, honesty, integrity, and courage. We will not surrender, because what is at stake is not just about the ADC or the opposition. It is the very survival of democracy. To surrender, therefore, is to yield the ground to tyranny and therefore become complicit in the destruction of our democracy. And let that be the answer to every doubt, every threat, and every shenanigan designed to keep Nigeria trapped in a one-party future. The ADC cannot be wished away. The ADC cannot be litigated into silence.
The Senator David Mark, the chair of the party led by him, well, a very former close ally and one of the closest friends to President Bola Tinubu, and former Minister of Interior, former Governor of Osun State, Rauf Aregbesola, has described the renewed hope agenda of his former friend as scam. He reeled out the state of affairs of the party and spoke about the state of the nation too.
It is our position that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, being a creation of law has a duty to abide by the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, and all other laws of the Federation, especially the clear provision of the Electoral Act 2026. The duty of attending and monitoring congresses and convention of political parties is a mandatory one imposed on INEC by the Electoral Act 2026. INEC has no option on its attendance of any congress and convention to which is legitimately invited. We wish to remind INEC that ADC remains a registered political party with registered members and structures from the polling unit level up to the national level. ADC has not been proscribed by any law in Nigeria or court order. It therefore has the right to continue to undertake its legitimate functions under the law.
As Mr. Aregbesola was talking, I read to you a court order from Justice J.O. Abdulmalik Court of the Federal High Court in Abuja today, which has granted perhaps one that is very interesting is the order that the party shall maintain the status quo ante bellum and shall not take further steps in this matter so as not to render nugatory the proceedings before the court. And this order was issued earlier today and certified by the registrar. Let's get a sense of what this means. Should the APC be worried about the ADC and the event of today? Is it true that they were denied the venue? And there are documents when the Minister of the FCT says that there were no applications to his office, the usage of Eagle Square. And in fact, his office is also saying that he's not even in charge of the Eagle Square. But a letter has surfaced, which I'm going to show you, that actually the ADC applied some 2 weeks or so ago for Eagle Square. They said Velodrome too, they applied for it, but they were not giving the opportunity. And all of the vendors who owned the event center were too afraid to give them to use. In fact, the owner of the venue that they used today, at the last minute, turned off the AC and ran away from the venue. And they insisted they must use the venue. That place was heating. I was there. It was tough. Well, it felt like hell. But then they went ahead. But what does this mean for our democracy, opposition in Nigeria? Chief Dele Momodu, a former journalist.
I'm still a journalist.
A former presidential candidate. Thank you so much for joining in tonight. I call some of you former because
you want to retire me.
We'll try to retire you.
No, my job is priority.
You were editor in the Concord those days.
Yes.
And you know what it felt like to be in the newsroom.
I know.
But you definitely don't feel sweaty and you don't feel the pressure of the newsroom as
I'm more pressured now because I pay all the bills.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
How was it like? Were you at that venue?
I'm just coming straight from there. I'm all sweaty and all that, but it's all for democracy. I feel very proud being a Nigerian because we've always boosted, right from the time we were doing a Luther at the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, in 1978, when I had my baptism of fire during the Ali Must Go demonstration. Yeah. So I've always boosted that Nigeria can never be a banana republic. Some inordinately ambitious Nigerian leaders have always tried. They will always try. Even after Tinubu leaves, whenever he leaves, some other people will still not learn any didactic lessons from what happened in the past to Abacha and what I believe will happen to Tinubu unless he finds a way to do a reverse of this tyrannical rule, which a lot of us are actually very embarrassed. How can our leader, someone we hailed, we were in London, we were on the streets of London fighting Abacha, And today, people are now comparing Tinubu to Abacha, which some of his aides don't want to hear. But that's what people are saying.
But could that be correct? How can you describe Tinubu and Abacha?
I'm not the one that describes. I said people.
On what basis are they that comparison?
I will tell you, they cannot believe that we will have maybe 4 or 5 major opposition leaders in the country, and some people will go and put fire in their houses so that none of them will be strong enough to stand against the leader. It is reality. Let's not hide behind one finger. I keep saying it. Tinubu today, despite gathering all the governors, ministers, legislators, and what have you, you can see the obvious panic in the party.
Is it the Tinubu camp that is panicky, or your camp? Because it does look like your camp is the one running helter-skelter to courtrooms and now sweating under non-air-conditioned convention venue. And you're not even very sure, because I just read out the court order that is saying that maintain us so that whatever that you do is not nugatory to what will be the definitive position of the court. It does look, and the president said it, that your camp is very confused, and he has sent Akpabio to go and scatter your camp more.
Oh, no. Akpabio, I can tell you, is still a gentleman. Akpabio may be doing all those, you know, the man likes comedy a lot. He's my very good friend and brother, you know. But the main person, the enforcer, is from Wike. Akpabio cannot go as low as Wike will go on this matter, because for them, it's a matter of life and death, that they must stay on in power. Personally, as a Democrat, I don't care if they perform, and Nigerians agree that they perform, and Nigerians say, okay, we have voted for them, we will congratulate them. But to now be blocking, when you're not a goalkeeper, almost everybody in APC right now is a goalkeeper. They are blocking venues, they are blocking courtrooms, they are blocking, the legislature, they are blocking INEC. It's insane. And someone should appeal. The one man that has everything to lose is Asiwaju. Not all these people, though. When tomorrow comes, those guys will move on.
Yeah, so it's an allegation coming from your side, saying they are blocking this, they are blocking that. In fact, they are making jest of your side to say, you don't even know how to apply properly for a venue. You say you apply for the Eagle Square, in which case there is a company that is in charge of the Eagle Square. And that's why they say your camp is confused.
We saw when APC was doing its own convention, we saw all the military high chiefs, Inspector General of Police, everybody. I don't know who invited them. We all abandoned Sambisa Forest. We abandoned Jos. We abandoned Kebbi. For all the Ogas to come to one venue. If I were in the shoes of Asiwaju, I am telling you, I will just calm down. Let these people have their own day. You were there today. Were you not embarrassed that we had to all gather in one small venue? But despite that, they are making ADC more popular. That one, I am so excited about it, that our guys couldn't be bothered, that the place was too hot and everything. Look, Asiwaju will leave power one day. But the history is that right now, he has disorganized all opposition parties in Nigeria. That is why, unknown to them, inadvertently, they forced Peter Obi, they forced Kwankwaso, they forced Atiku, they forced, Tambua, they forced Amechi, they forced all the juggernauts into one party. So whether they like it or not, now Nigerians have an alternative to APC. And I'm very excited about that. Whether it's convenient, it's not convenient, it's the sacrifice we must make for our country.
But the big question will be whether or not the ADC, as it's presently constituted, is going to be the kind of alternative that will give APC and Bola Tinubu a problem or run for their money in 2027. But I'll allow you to answer to that question after this break. We'll take a break, everyone. Chief Dele Momodu will be answering questions on what the ADC stands for today, the legal troubles, the allegations, the back and forth, the convention of today. What does it mean for the average ADC person and the 2027 election? And that's going to be after next on the program. Kenneth.
Across Nigeria, from our cities to our communities, the true strength of our nation lies in its people. Every day, millions of hardworking Nigerians contribute to building a better future, driven by resilience, hope, and determination. Working People United is bringing these voices together, creating a platform where every citizen is heard and every contribution counts, bringing together progressive-minded people from organized labor to entrepreneurs both in the formal and informal sector in Nigeria and the diaspora. A movement that believes in the ability of President Bola Tinubu to move Nigeria to a country of our dreams and believe that good things don't come easy. However, the future is bright for Nigeria, and supporting the vision of Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a stronger, more inclusive and prosperous Nigeria. Together we can shape the future. Together we can build a nation that works for all. Working People United, the voice of the people, the force for progress.
Malaria is gone. No more cold and pain. What is wrong with my husband?
Ma, he was very sick in the office. This is the lab result.
Thank you, Luta. With Luta, malaria is in big trouble.
Luta contains artemether and lumefantrine, and it is used to treat malaria.
Luta is another quality product from Hovid and marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited.
Nigeria is moving forward under the leadership of Mr. President and renewed hope agenda across the nation. Road networks are improving, bringing development, better connectivity, and economic growth closer to the people. In Ondo State, the GMT chapter is taking this message to the grassroots through impactful programs, sports activities, Jigi Ashuwaju outreach, and the inauguration of GMT ESCO members. GMT Ondo State will also begin unit and ward meetings across the state, alongside another round of free Jigi Ashuwaju materials and free eyeglasses for the public. The Elosoloja Renewed Hope Agenda campaign will visit major markets, engaging traders and residents on the achievements of the administration. Nigerians are encouraged to continue supporting Mr. President as he delivers on the Renewed Hope Agenda. This program is powered by GMT Ondo State and sponsored by Honorable Olubumi Tunjiojo, Minister of Interior. In God we trust.
Hello, Nigerians. Your dream of owning a home is closer than ever. With Amrif, you can secure mortgage at a fixed rate of 9.75% per annum, repayable over up to 20 years. Contribute 10% of the property value as your deposit. Visit www.mreif.com.ng today to sign up or walk into any of the participating banks. This fund is managed by ARM Investment Managers.
This is a new understanding. Citizens play their part. Government delivers on its promises. Tax is no longer just about compliance. It's the new partnership for a greater Nigeria. The new Nigeria Revenue Service stands not as a tax collector, but as a trusted custodian of what we built together. It's a new deal for a better Nigeria. A greater Nigeria, built by us, funded by us. Message brought to you by Nigeria Revenue Service, NRS.
For years, OPay has protected how the people pay. Every day, we move money to keep life going. Through our daily hustle of trying to make ends meet. Through the responsibilities we carry. And when the day is done, we rest easy because we've got extra cover. And because we're confident in the security we've built, we're backing it. Introducing Extra Cover, an extra layer of assurance on your OPay account. So you can send, pay, save, and move through life with peace of mind. Backed up to 5 million naira. The People's Payment Shield, now with Extra Cover.
so much, everyone, for staying with us. Chief Dele Momodu has been speaking with us on the state of affairs of the ADC, the National Convention of today. Chief Dele Momodu, in the eye of the law, today's event at that Rainbow Event Center, there are those who have described it as an academic activity. It's just a meeting without any consequence because of the legal issues surrounding the affairs of the party.
Well, let me start from your last question about what will be the difference between ADC and APC. I think that is a very important question that you have raised. And my answer is simple. Let's start by rescuing our country from a one-man rule.
What do you mean
that
one-man
is the
rule?
foundation.
What do you mean one-man
It's
rule?
one-man rule. Tinubu is a one-man rule. There is no question about it. Just yesterday, I watched the scenario in Ogun State where they chose the next gubernatorial aspirant.
For the APC.
For the APC. And it came from an instruction from the president that this is who I have endorsed. In Lagos, we are hearing they've also endorsed one person. That's what I mean by one-man rule. There is no other part of Nigeria.
But they will say that it's a consensus style,
okay.
Which, of course, is endorsed by the electoral law. It's one of the two form of primaries. There is
no, it is not any consensus. Everybody must keep quiet. Wherever dictatorship thrives, everybody keeps quiet. Majority of my friends are in APC. I pity them. Sometimes they just look like slaves. You know, they grumble behind the master, but they dare not speak up. I pray for them. I wish them well because that's what they've chosen for themselves. So I am telling you, Nigeria must be rescued. You see, Tinubu did it in Lagos. It has survived, that system has survived for 27 years. What is causing all these, problems is the fact that he now wants to elevate it to the national level. And of course, Nigeria is too big for the voluptuous and voluble ambition of one man. And that is why people are kicking. And he's yet to find a solution to it. And that is why he has to gather people by fire, by force. And so we must rescue Nigeria from one-man rule. I don't even call it one-party dictatorship. It's a one-man rule. They cannot talk. Nobody can talk. If the president says, this is what I want, you can see when last did you see a legislature like the current one, where National Assembly, everything, if the president today says, I want to borrow $1 trillion, they will approve it in less than 5 minutes. That's so ridiculous. So that's why I was telling you that there is a difference. I don't know of anybody in today's ADC that can try it. Is it Atiku Abubakar, who was the vice president? We all saw the role he played in the Obasanjo administration. Today, he does not control any state in Nigeria, not even Adamawa, where he comes from. He does not control the governor. He cannot call the governor and say, go and empty the state. I need money. It dare not. That is what I call, that's what I call democracy.
So there are those who have described it also as an easy way that has worked, that when the leaders of the party speak, for example, in Lagos, they have the GAC. It's a collegiate of elders in the party in Lagos, in the APC, who come together, consult with their leader, and decide on way to go. And there are those who will say it's a consensus building. The Bola Tinubu has built a political structure, a political school of thought that allows for a unilateral leadership that helps the party to find way. And there are those who say this has worked over the years. And he has been able to build it from AC to AD, from AD to APC. And you can see how the party has run the affairs of several states of the federation before coming into national prominence. There are those who say, is it because you cannot do it? And that's why you are blaming the man who has the capacity and has more knowledge about consensus building.
No matter how brilliant you are, okay, unless you want to be a Paul Biya in Cameroon, you cannot continue to decide for a state that is more than several countries in Africa put together. No matter how, so you must take some back seat.
But that political structure, that school of thought has worked for. They will say it has worked for Lagos. They will say it has helped Ogun.
No,
because if you look at Ogun State, right there, you will see former governor, about 4 former governors there, about 3 of them plus the sitting governor, Benga Daniel, Amosun, Baba Shegun Oshoba, and you will see the present governor, Dr. Abiodun, and all of them sat. And what they will say, what is more than consensus building than that?
No, let's be realistic.
So you're saying it's only Baba Sokwe?
I am very close to all of them. All. And I can tell you, it never used to be like this. It was limited to Lagos. Now it has encroached into Ogun. And they are trying to do the same in Oyo. And they want to do the same in Osun. I am telling you, it has never been this bad. In Ogun, if you want a godfather, I mean, if you ask me, I think Chief Olusegun Oshoba will naturally be the godfather. But right now, even Chief Oshoba cannot decide who will become governor. It has to come from Lagos. And that's the power of the presidency. And you wait, God forbid, if we allow APC to come back, this thing will engulf the whole of Nigeria. Now everybody is silent. Now everybody is silent. From state to state, in Adamawa, in Kebbi, in Zamfara, in Bauchi, one man is going to determine who will be governor, who will be senator, who will be member of the House of Reps. But I believe Katakata will burst somewhere along the line.
It's a Monday syndrome. You wish you had it in your party, isn't it?
No, I cannot wish for such rascality. No, never.
You will see a lot of these things working together. Young people, even the president's wife, the president's son, a lot of people, you will see all of the students of the Bola Tinubu school, all of them working together to achieve the mandate ideology and make sure that the party is speaking in unison.
There is nothing more demonic than the power of money and the power of power. These guys now have access to stupendous wealth. They have access to security. Even our security agencies who should be fighting insurrection in Nigeria are busy jogging after them, following them up and down. Let it be on record that some of us spoke to power, spoke to our big brother, Asiwaju, and he should be the father of the nation. I keep repeating it. He got what Abiola could not get. He got what Awolowo could not get. These guys, I'm sure they were far, far brilliant, more brilliant than he is. He should just take a lesson in life that power is transcendent.
Chief Dele Momodu, let's talk about the problem of your party. Because you are having a headache.
You keep talking about the problem of my party. Why are you not talking about the problems in APC?
No, but you are having a lot of headache about the problem with Bola Tinubu and the APC. But it seems to be there are a lot of headache to go around, enough to go around.
Yeah.
The one in your party, for example, which I'd asked you about the court order that is specifically saying do not do anything pending the definite decision of the court.
No.
But yet you went ahead. Court says
no.
Is that
the court? There is no court that said we should freeze in time.
He said,
you are a lawyer.
Maintain status quo.
Our status quo.
Antebellum.
Our status quo started from Yaradua Center last year. No court has said we should stop existing. No, only the INEC chairman. And he went above and outside his remit by saying you have listed some names. It doesn't make any sense. There's no court.
Yeah, Chief Momodu, when the court says maintain status, he said do not do anything until such a time that I determine this matter.
What are they?
That's the definition of that.
The status quo is that
do not do anything.
The status quo is that a party existed. We existed. The David Mark NWC existed. That is the status quo. That's our own interpretation. The court did not say stop going to office. Stop admitting people. We are doing our registration. People are registering in droves.
So you don't see today's event as a contempt of court?
No. If the court...
Today, you know what happened today? You know the question that the judge asked today?
Yes.
Are you doing any convention? The lawyer that represented the remark said, no, we did not do anything. And the court, in that order, the order 2, which was in that order today, in that courtroom, says that do not do anything in relation to this until a definite...
The court said they shouldn't do a convention. Is there any court in Nigeria that said so?
No, he said do nothing.
No, you are a lawyer.
Let me read it again to you.
Do nothing includes stop breathing, Sheung. Legally. You are breathing now. When they say do nothing, then you are contemptuous by being alive. If you eat tonight when they told you to do nothing, so let's banalize everything. There is no court.
That breathing and eating may not be part of the rest. No, the substantive matter is the activity related to the leadership congresses
we're talking about
of the party.
No, we're talking about the oxygen of a party.
Which is convention.
A party has its own oxygen. So if the court wanted the party to fold up and go home, it would simply tell them, go and lock up your offices and do nothing. No court has said that to us.
Let me ask you, there are those who say that what will kill this idea of the coalition and the ADC will be ambition and inordinate, selfish desire for power. And if you look at the array of superstars in the ADC right now, the biggest fear is that agreement into a consensus will be the problem. You see that as going to be the undoing of the ADC?
I expected that question from you, Shehu. But I want to tell you, that's wishful thinking on the part of the ruling party and the ruling government. They've been hoping for it. Why are they suddenly jittery? They said, oh, Kwankwaso will never join them. He joined them. Oh, Obi will never join. He joined them. Oh, Atiku and Amechi, they will never agree on one thing because everybody is super ambitious. Look, tell me where any of them can run to at this time. Is it Labour? Is it PDP? And who has the money to start afresh and fund a political party? You'll be an independent candidate and you will lose.
So everybody is now forced by the amendment of the electoral law now.
It's Tinubu that has forced all of them into one party. The enemy of your enemy is your friend.
But then, Chief Dele Momodu, critics will say that the ADC is becoming a refugee camp for displaced politicians. How do you respond to concerns that this is more about political survivor and chasing Bola Tinubu, whom you don't like his face any longer,
than
the interest of the Nigerian national transformation?
He knows, President Tinubu knows me well. I'm not one of those political jobbers who will hate you because I disagree with you politically. I disagree with tyranny. It's nothing personal. So don't go there saying I detest or I hate Tinubu.
I'm saying when I say you, I'm saying it's a compound term.
Okay.
Those of you who now politically
for myself.
do not like Bola Tinubu's face and really want him out of town.
I lack the capacity to hate anybody. I am a Christian. And I believe peace is sacrosanct. Now, back to what we were saying. Tinubu is the one causing the problems everywhere for himself.
But no evidence to show.
Oh, it's obvious. You see, if he allowed every political party to thrive, just leave them alone, then our judiciary, someone was asking me, just like the question you asked John now, oh, are you sure the judiciary will cooperate with you? I said, I don't know. But what I know for a fact is that the judiciary people They are not masquerades from heaven. They are human beings. They have children. They have families. And they can see, they can feel what is going on in Nigeria, the mood of the people, how everywhere is in total disarray. I'm sure they will do justice. What justice they will do, I have no idea.
Chief Dele Momodu, and I'll come back to that same question because I'm not quite satisfied with the answer. And as an adult and as an elder statesman that you have become, I'm very sure, and it will be a tragedy if any human being, an adult, has not come to the realization that we make errors, and we err as humans. I'm very sure that you must have made some mistakes. Other than blame others for those mistakes, you must have looked at yourself and reflect and say, Dele, this is my fault, and I blame myself for it. And that those who are asking, has your party been able to reflect to say, some of the troubles that he's facing right now, is there any way you could have looked at yourself and talked to yourself and say, we made this mistake also? Yes, we may have thought that Bola Tinubu and the APC is responsible for our trouble, but are you able to realize and reflect to the extent and be truthful to Nigerians that you also made some mistakes?
Let me tell you something. On a personal note, I've made loads of mistakes in my life. There is no soul who has not made mistakes. And that is why some of us could tolerate Tinubu till now. That's why we're able to tolerate him. That we don't expect him to be a saint. But what we are saying is that the minimum standard we expect of him is to maintain the rights of man. If I will use the title of a book by Thomas Paine, the rights of man is all we are asking him to respect. Now, if you ask me if ADC made a mistake, ADC did 99.9% of what any right-thinking person would have done. ADC did not just come into a coalition overnight. They had meetings upon meetings, sleepless nights, globally, not just in Nigeria. And they were planning because they knew the people they were dealing with. And it actually caught the ruling party by surprise. That's why they are now running helter-skelter and trying to see how they can frustrate us like they have frustrated all the other parties. So there was not a mistake. One man stood up. He started with my brother, Kachuku Dumebi. And I went to see him. I said, Dumebi, please don't let them use your head like it happened to Atom Zeribe during the June 12th. We need to all stand up for democracy. Whether you like Tinubu or you don't like Tinubu, the grounds we have against him is that he's leading Nigeria in the wrong direction. And we cannot keep quiet.
Chief John Oyegun says the ADC is the route to Aso Rock. And there are those who will say, wishful thinking.
That is his opinion. That's my opinion. People told me, I know of people, very powerful Nigerians, who said ADC will not fly. And today, they call me and say, it seems your prediction is becoming true after all.
So you think ADC has, and there's a pathway to victory for ADC?
My brother, the person who came second in the last election, Atiku Abubakar, is in the coalition. The person who came third, Peter Obi, is in the coalition. The person who came fourth, Rabi Musa Kwakwaso, is in the coalition. The person who came second in the APC primary, presidential primary, Rotimi Amechi, is in the coalition. And you have this plethora of superstars, to borrow your word. Why won't APC be G3? All it takes is for ADC to have a beautiful combination of those. You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Well, if you add your way and you are the Baba now in the Baba Sokwe scenario for ADC and you are to determine those who should be on the ballot, and I know that you have done the mathematics to say Atiku looks like a best bet for the ADC. Who would you pair him with?
Oh, I'll pair him with Peter Obi because they worked together in 2019. So they already share similar temperament. Number two, Peter Obi came third in the last election. So you don't have to work too hard to maintain and attract the same group of people who loved him to bits. And Who are the most aggrieved people in Nigeria today? They are from the north, where people are dying senselessly.
I have just about 20 seconds to close, and I'd like to ask you, if Nigerians are to choose between the ruling party's continuity and the ADC's promise of change, which we have heard before, what is the single strongest reason they should take the risk on your party in 2027?
Experience and exposure. Democracy is the foundation of everything. Where you have a one-man rule, everything will collapse. That's my prediction. I remember I predicted on this program in October 2022. I told you if Tinubu becomes president, he's going to be a dictator. I stand by the same.
Chief Dele Momodu, I refer to him as a former journalist, but he insists that he's still one, a member of the ADC. Thank you so much, indeed, for
Thank you, Sean.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. God bless Nigeria.
It's nice to have you join us. You're watching News Track on Channels Television. I'm Ayo Tunde Balogun. Here are our top stories making the rounds at this time. Vice President Kashim Shettima is promising that adequate measures are being put in place to bring succor to victims of the recent attack